Welcome.
You have a large head,
I
Freddie.
do. I don't know what happened.
Wink.
After killing Jason, I guess you could say it really went to my head.
Ah,
All right.
just the tip, just a bit, Freddie.
To another edition of the Freaky Film Club. I'm Jeremy Jordan.
And I am Brian.
How's it going, pal?
Doing good, man. Look, I dressed up this time. I'm wearing my serial killer shirt.
That is a
This is what a
nice.
serial killer would wear.
That's a great look for you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you getting into the festivities as well.
Aw, yeah. Gotta rock Charles Lee Ray's profession.
Fuck yeah.
Serial killer.
Speaking of which, the movie tonight is Child's Play.
That's correct.
Ooh.
See?
Oh yeah, I guess
you
they
can't
could have.
see my fingers.
I guess they could tell from your background.
No. Is there video for this one?
Yes, there is going to be video this time.
Ooh, okay, yeah, they can see it. They can see it.
Yes, they can. And do you know where the name Charles Lee Ray comes from?
I do.
Why don't you tell everybody at home that nice tidbit?
Okay, so they took the names of Charles Manson and
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yes, that's right.
And then we'll cut this out so it sounds like we answered faster.
Say now we're looking it up. I just looked at this the other night. I can't think of it. Who the fuck is Ray? Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh.
I can't find it. My brain is turned to mush.
Charles Lee Ray name origin. Lee Harvey Oswald and James Earl Ray assassinated
right.
Dr. King.
That's right. Yeah, I always thought that was a little interesting nugget.
Yeah. Some swift editing will take care of that, right?
Yeah.
Swift, quote
Swift.
unquote.
Yes. DeAndre Swift editing.
Yeah, it's funny because I heard that name and I'm like, Charles Lee Ray, that sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's just those names ring so prominently in my mind from pop culture, like, Is it pop culture or just like,
oh yeah,
our dark history of those guys and those names?
I mean, I would say they're definitely a part of pop culture, just because they're so notorious.
You have for some reason, I have like a fun association with pop culture.
So yeah.
Like, ooh, that's not fun.
Right.
They killed people.
True. But I still consider it part of pop culture.
Yeah, I agree.
We should call
JFK
Nicholas.
Assassination, Dr. King's assassination. Who's the other guy? Oh, Charles Manson.
Charles Manson.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that one definitely. I mean, they made movies about the guy.
How many people did he kill?
Oh man, I have no idea.
Was it just a guy or a few people he went and murdered with the checks? Or
it was a few, but I'm not sure.
Okay, I know he had his little. Anyway, we
let's get back into it. So yeah, we're taking a look at Child's Play tonight, directed by, well, actually no, not directed by, but story by Don Mancini. He actually wouldn't go on to direct a Child's Play movie until later on. This one was Tom Holland, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yep,
So.
He directed it, and then David Kirshner was the creator of Chucky, the character, the doll character, I think. And yeah, I think he might have been a producer on the movie too or something, but and that guy's worked on some different things. I was like looking at him. He did like American Tail, and he did obviously Child's Play, and I think he did American Tail and then went to Child's Play. So it was like a really unusual turn for him, like to go from a kids movie, kids animated film to horror film.
Yeah.
But he did a couple other things. I guess he did like a like obscure underground cult following animated films after that. Like I guess like Cats Don't Dance is supposedly like a great movie, but like I never heard of it. That came out in the late 90s.
It kind of rings a bell. It sounds familiar to me, but I don't know.
Yeah, I went down like a rabbit hole. I like saw that he worked on the film Titan AE, and I never saw that. I just remember the Creed Hire like theatrical trailers to it. And then saw that like Matt Damon and Drew Barrymore voice the two main characters, and I'm like, what the hell? This is so weird. And I like watched some of that. Anyway, no more tangents.
Yeah. But but anyways, so do you remember the first time you watched Child's Play?
Yeah. I saw it a long time ago in high school for sure. I think. So I remember like the kid, you know, like when the kid goes out, they go out to like the ghetto in Chicago and the old shitty rundown buildings.
Yeah.
I do remember like that stuff vaguely. Like the kid going out with him on the subway and whatever. I don't remember too much. Like I remember Child's Play 2, like he gets thrown in the vat.
Yeah.
It's like electrocuted. So I like have that in my head. So
that's
actually, I saw those things at some point.
Yeah. The vat is actually, I think, the first image that I can recall. As a child, that's the one that like
that's the one I think of too.
Yeah. Like
it's
I remember
so specific and unique, I guess.
Yeah. It was a very like strange way to bring him back. And
was it to bring him back?
Yeah, like the mold, like
I thought he died in it.
He did, but then in the third one, they like repower up the factory.
Oh, in the third one, okay.
Yeah, they bring him back using the same. Like they just put his old shitty mold body into the.
How did he come back in the second one?
The second one, I don't really remember
because it's the story carrying on from the first one.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, I don't recall, but I think they just do the same kind of thing, or like someone finds the carcass and they like repurpose it, or like what's the word? You know, like refurbish it.
He was like destroyed.
I know,
like,
but
you could see like the metal, like the frame of the thing still had the eyes and the mouth, I guess.
Because I just remember the intro of 2 being like someone cleaning up that body of the doll. I just don't remember like how they acquire it or anything. I mean,
then who did it? Was it the factory?
I mean, probably. We should just look this up so we're not pondering it forever.
It'll bother us. Okay, despite being roasted to a crisp in the first film, Chucky rises from the ashes after being reconstructed by a toy factory to dispel the negative publicity surrounding the doll. Back in one piece, Chucky tracks his prey to a foster home.
Yeah, so it's like I'm pretty sure they do the same exact thing again in the third one then, because that sounds almost exactly like what they do in the third, but instead of a charred body, it's the melty plastic body.
So I mean, I feel like this conversation is just, there's just no point in going there, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of spiraling out a little again.
Well, it's like, because he was becoming real in the first one.
Right.
Which he clearly kind of wasn't, because when he got burned to a crisp, you saw like the interior parts of the doll. So he wasn't like flesh and bone.
I know.
Organs in there.
That whole thing was so like stupid.
Kind of convoluted.
Yeah.
Sort of like just not explained.
It's like you feel pain that a human feels, and you'll like bleed. The more you'll bleed, but could
the doll bleed, or is that just?
Well, we should save it for when we get there.
Oh, we're going through the movie.
Well, yeah, just quickly.
Okay.
So we start out with Charles Lee Ray in the middle of the police shootout, and he ducks into a toy store and obviously possesses the body of the doll, which leads to, the whole franchise.
Which I should point out, by the way, is not a mall.
Right.
Because there was some discussion in the past with Colin, and we were playing the serial killer stuff.
Oh yeah.
For our Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
And you would find him in a mall, but when we were watching the movie, I'm like, oh, he's just going in a toy store. He's not in a mall,
Right. No, that's a good point. That didn't even cross my mind.
I thought he was in a mall, actually. That's what I thought. I remembered that he did run into a mall.
Yeah, it's like a weird.
But no, he just ran into the street, like a street side store. So
yeah, a store that you would never see anymore, just solely based on just having toys.
Moment of silence for the mom and pop shop.
Pour one out.
Moment of silence edited out.
Yeah.
Everyone do it on your own time.
Yeah, I do it. We don't have time for that shit. That store looked awesome, by the way, too. It just made me feel all warm and fuzzy looking at some of those old board games and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, cool. So after he possesses the doll, we cut to Andy's house. And Andy's having a birthday today.
Aww.
Yeah. I thought the opening here was actually pretty wholesome. He makes breakfast for his mom, and you really want to they try to make you really feel for these characters. But I kind of wonder, I know he's supposed to be a young kid and everything, but is he that stupid that he can't make proper breakfast?
I was just gonna say, I had no idea he was making breakfast in bed for his mom.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this kid and I'm like, what the fuck? Him making cereal. I was like, Jesus Christ, I wouldn't have done that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He was messy. So okay, a kid could do that, right?
Uh-huh.
But then when he was spooning sugar onto it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, kid. What the fuck are you doing?
That was ridiculous. Yeah.
That was sick. I was oh.
The big ass thing of butter on the toast. Oh my God, dude.
That was funny. I was like, I was thinking of how he got that, because I'm used to just having sticks, but then I forgot there's the country bin of, margarine and shit.
Yeah.
You got a nice looking scoop on there though.
Yeah.
Is that an ice cream scooper? He put that on there?
It was commercial quality. It looked good.
And he burnt the toast. Dude, were toasters back then just when you popped it, or could you time them?
I thought they had timers. I didn't think that was a brand new.
So maybe they got shitty.
Yeah, maybe
they didn't cook properly or cooked too much.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
or he kept putting it down. I don't know.
Or they were below the poverty line, so they probably did have a faulty.
Yeah.
They
Goodwill toaster.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they did portray it as a single mom.
Yeah,
getting by. She's just a clerk at the jewelry store,
right.
Not raking in six figures.
No, not at all. In fact, she even has to work shifts that she doesn't want to because her boss is a typical retail boss.
Right.
Yeah.
Retail boss.
Yep.
No rights for the workers.
That's right.
They're not people.
We don't care. Slot. That's right. We don't care if it's your son's birthday.
Exactly.
You're the only thing that didn't match my retail experiences was that guy was like, "You're in this department. You can't cover her department," because that would never happen. They'd be like,
you can.
You could do whatever. You could do it all. Yeah.
You're gonna work also.
Yeah.
At the same time. That's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we find out that unfortunately she does have to work that evening, that they would have been celebrating Andy's birthday. And instead she has her best friend babysit, which they call Aunt what's her name?
Aunt
Maggie
Peterson.
Yeah. So they call her Aunt Maggie, and she is the one that babysits that evening for Andy. And well, actually, and I forgot, I skipped right over the part where he gets the doll.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of breezed past that a little bit.
Yeah.
So prior
Mom gets the you got it.
Yeah. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I feel like
Mom gets her kid the good guy doll. So, I mean, when he was making the really shitty breakfast for his mom, little fucker, did a terrible job, but it was a nice gesture. They had like the good guy show on TV, and I'm just like, holy shit, this kid loves good guy. My God. Like he had like the clothes on and like toys and like pissed that the same episode was on. And it was like good guy cereal. I was like, God damn.
Oh, that's another thing I read too, was about how they kind of wanted to like touch on like the commercialization of the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With like how everything was turned into like either a show or cereal or
everything was transformed into a like just anything, merchandising, branding, anything. They said like they looked at like, I know for the doll development, they looked at like actual dolls at the time, like all the different things they could do and say and stuff like that. So it sounds like they were well researched in their development for the film. The story and the props, but anyway, he wanted a good guy doll and his mom couldn't afford it. Tells him he's all sad, and then she is told by her friend Maggie while she's working her shift at the jewelry store that there's a guy out back in the alley that is not sketchy at all.
No,
and she's able to get the doll for more than what the thing is sold at retail. After she explains that she has no money to buy it, so
$30, which must have been a lot of money back then. The way they reacted was like, it was
I would guess it was like $40-$50 now in today's dollars. But she's tight on money.
For sure.
I mean, apparently post-divorce, which wasn't really pointed out or alluded to, I don't think.
No, they don't really touch on that at all.
There's no like cheesy part of like, your dad's not here, and like she's caressing his cheek.
There's no mention really of the dad at all, but
they
did have I read in the wiki that there was like a 2-hour cut originally shown to test screening audiences, and there was a little section in that original cut that involved his dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they just decided they didn't go with that cut because it actually showed Chucky a little too much, and they found that people responded better to not as much and a little more tension building. So,
was the dad murdered? I'm assuming then.
Oh, I'm not even really sure exactly. I don't think.
Why would they pull that part? And it makes me wonder if they pulled it just for timing.
Cut the
runtime down or something, and they were like, "Well, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it could have been any number of reasons.
But since they did it, I had no idea. Like,
it's just interesting that there was at least a mention of it at one point. But, anyways,
right. Like, she could have been knocked up and raised him herself.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still been just the same off, like not well off. You know?
Right.
Anyway.
So that night, Andy's mom is working the shift, and after he receives the doll, of course, Chucky and Andy get up to some shenanigans. Andy keeps telling her that Chucky wants to watch the 9:00 news after bedtime, and she's like, okay, sure he does. And at one point, while Andy's brushing his teeth, Chucky appears on one of the chairs and is watching the 9:00 news. Of course, she thinks that Andy put him there, so she sends them both off to bed, and she's like, come on, Andy, stop being a little fuck. And that leads us to a pretty cool and tense scene where Chucky pushes her out the window. What did you like this scene? Did you feel like it did a good job of building the tension?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was a little surprised by how quickly the action went. Like, I think it did a great job making her feel like paranoid.
Right.
and like freaked out, creeped out. And I mean, I got the sense that he was out there.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely out there. Yeah, I think he whacks her with the hammer and she just flies out the window. I don't know if did he actually push her? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I guess technically it's not really a push. I guess that's a good call. Yeah.
But
I think it's the momentum of the whack.
Yeah, anyway, I actually felt it's weird. I felt bad for her. Like she was a nice character, and I'm like, well, she's gonna get fucking murdered. And but I was curious to see how it would happen. As the tension was building, I was like, I know it's coming.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it's gonna be. And I'm just like waiting for her to get massacred. And
yeah.
It was kind of a like, a non-bloody way to die.
Mm-hmm.
She can get like hacked up or anything. So
right. Not the usual slasher kill.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, then of course, after that happens, Andy's mom eventually comes home and there's police everywhere, and there's quite the investigation going on at the moment. She finds out what happens and she loses her shit, like anyone would.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, people are wondering what's going on. I think maybe Andy could have possibly had something to do with it. I mean,
Yeah. All that was kind of weird. I mean, I understand why they went there, and it made the movie more interesting, because it would have been boring if they'd been like, oh, it was just an accident.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could have worked. I mean, it's not like they had to accuse the kid of killing her, but it was because they found the footprints in the flour, and
right.
Mm-hmm. That. How does a kid commit homicide? I mean, he hit on the table and pushed her out the window.
It does seem like a pretty tall order, but
he's a little kid. Like, even a little kid, I don't know how well. I mean, I don't know how they're not strong enough to just shove a chick out the window.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that would take a lot of effort.
But he could have hit her with a hammer, I guess, though, because they probably would have found that in the autopsy.
Mm-hmm.
That she had blunt force trauma to her face.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So they could have assumed that. Yeah. But it was weird that Andy kept insisting on telling everybody that Chucky was telling him all these things. Like, after the first time that they give the reaction to what he was saying to them, you'd think he'd like want to keep his mouth shut for a little while till this whole thing boils over.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a like cute, innocent little kid.
Yeah.
Like a sweet little kid. Like, he plays that really well.
Yeah.
And like, to imagine this kid being murderous, just couldn't see it. Which could certainly play, for that kind of storyline. But the hell was I thinking? Oh, like so I was looking at behind the scenes, and again, they don't show you this in the movie, and you can't really just, like imagine it.
Mm-hmm.
But they said, like, I guess the kid was supposed to be sort of damaged or felt isolated by the divorce between the parents, which they don't touch on at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not getting any of that from the kid.
Right.
Kid seems fine. He seems happy.
Yeah, he seemed pretty well adjusted.
That's why it makes more sense to me that, like, he never met his dad. He never had one.
Mm-hmm.
So they were supposedly trying to give off this vibe that he'd be a troubled child that could do this, but I didn't get that sense at all. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It worked for me not to have it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the direction they went, and it made total sense. I mean, you're not going to believe a doll killed someone.
Yeah.
I think they did a pretty good job of making, like, just assuming everyone's nuts, like kid's nuts, mom's nuts. Like, why would anyone believe that?
Right.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's very outlandish. Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be unnerving if anybody was trying to hysterically tell you that the doll did it. You imagine that?
I mean, yeah, that'd be really hard to take. You would think they're either just fucking with you, or they've just, I don't know, they've lost it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
It was like, it really happened. It's like, holy shit. Like, we got to get you help now.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get you in a padded room.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But so moving on here, that night they kind of just wrap things up with the detective pretty quickly, and Andy's mom shoos him away. And then Andy goes to bed, and there's a really funny scene where Chucky like looks at the screen and closes his eyes to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
It's very random and strange that they added that, I thought.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't really know if maybe he's supposed to shut his eyes
yeah,
for, is that what the good guy doll does? So he
yeah,
shut his
like
eyes, like it's
I
inactive, it closes its eyes.
I guess so. Like,
Um,
but we already know that, like, if they're trying to trick us, like we already know
and I
he's
don't
in
know if
there.
he's living or if he's an inanimate doll that like he's essentially always conscious.
Right.
So like was
Yeah,
he
right.
meditating
Yeah,
the
I don't,
entire night?
or maybe he really just needs real human sleep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
like
I
it's
don't
really
know.
ambiguous. I don't fucking
Yeah.
know either.
Yeah, it's way too open. So just an odd little moment there.
He had to just sit there and play it off
Yeah.
because he wasn't I mean, he had to play a role and he had to ease his way into things.
Hmm.
He couldn't just
So he
fly
was
around and
like,
murder everybody immediately, I guess.
he was getting into like a role, like one of those actors that is like really method.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's taking
Yeah.
his role very seriously.
You're a plastic doll.
He would say in the mirror while everybody's
Yeah.
sleeping
Yeah.
and go back to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. So very odd. Next day, Andy is getting walked to school by his mother. And you'd think actually, they'd just take the day off of school after the traumatizing events, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's walking into school, maybe just to keep things normal as possible. And when she leaves, he starts walking in a different direction, and he's taking Chucky to what appears to be some sort of rundown crack house.
Or Chucky's taking him.
Yes,
Did you
right.
think it was weird that the good guy doll is huge? He's taking the good guy doll to school. I found it so fucking weird.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, where are you gonna put that?
Yeah, that's
during
like
the
not
day?
normal. Is that gonna make That's not gonna make you feel better when everybody makes fun of you. That's just weird.
Yeah,
That
like
thing is huge.
they would definitely be laughing at you if you had that when we were going to school.
Well, they're just being like, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
what is this?
Yeah, so they go back to the house, and
Crack house?
well, it looks like a crack house. I don't want to be
Yeah.
too judgmental here, but
It was run down, shitty place.
it was
Infested with
pretty,
rats.
yeah, it was pretty bad. It turns out to be the house of the guy from the beginning that he was,
The getaway driver.
right. Mhm. So he kills him for revenge by blowing up the fucking house.
Mm-hmm. Normal reaction.
Yeah, that seems really sane.
Mm-hmm.
And this, of course, then leads more cops to come, and they see Andy and they think Andy was the one that did this.
Right, of course. Every single time.
Right.
Which is a little off the fucking wall because he was at the house that exploded, but Andy knows how ovens work and he's just going to gas the house and blow it up. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He's a little kid.
Right. Like he couldn't even make a real breakfast. And now he's like a mastermind criminal.
Yeah.
All the cops would have had to do is ask him to make breakfast in bed, and they would have known for sure.
I don't think kids are like that advanced. I mean, I guess some are well
Right.
developed for their age, but I don't know. It seems pretty fucking far fetched.
Well,
He
there
was there.
Yeah, he was there. So it was odd that he would be there. So I'm sure they have, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that they'd be suspicious, but it is weird. I mean, but kids have killed though too.
Kids are kids.
Kids will be kids. He was just running amok, and
They're just learning. He didn't know.
He was like a young Jason Voorhees.
He was.
Yeah.
He didn't know.
Yeah.
Cut him some slack.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, so then we cut to the mental hospital, right?
Things are going really well for Andy at this point.
He has to tell them the truth, or they're gonna take him away from his mother and lock him up in the mental hospital.
Oh,
but he just keeps insisting that Chucky did it, so they just take him away. And Andy's mom is pretty hysterical. So after this scene, she goes back home. Right? Am I on the money so far? Am I missing anything?
So wait, they're at the mental hospital, and then what did you say happens?
So then she really is like giving Andy one last chance to confess or tell the truth. He keeps insisting that it's Chucky, so they take him away. And at
the police station, and then they go to the mental hospital.
And then they go, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of butchering it a little bit. I forget they went to the police station first. Yeah.
Yeah, she starts to do her own investigating or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right after that, tirelessly, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, like at the mental hospital, we cut there and they have him there and doing whatever. But they got him in his own room, but he sees Chucky trying to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I gotta hand it to this kid. He did a really good job of crying against the door in there that Chucky was coming to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought this kid did a really good job, and I thought that crying moment was really, really genuine. Like really good acting for a kid. And something else that was refreshing was some actual like genuine reaction to a stressful situation that you don't see in movies very much at all.
Mm-hmm.
Where like kids will just be like, "Oh dear." But it's like, no, you'd be like fucking sobbing and shit. Because that's what people do. They fucking cry and they look ugly when they cry. Like,
right.
he at least hit on that briefly.
Yeah.
Against the door. And I was like, that's nice to see.
Yeah.
That's real.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there.
No, good. That's for sure. I thought he was a good kid.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Yeah. So Chucky at one point too during this whole thing finds out from his former like voodoo friend named John that
the Dr. Death or whatever.
Yeah. he finds out that he's becoming human, and in order to get his soul back into a human body, he has to put it into the first person that he revealed himself to, which of course was Andy.
Which is so weird.
We touched on
how that works.
Like it's so like
it is what it is. I mean,
it is, but it definitely sounds like it was one of those things they didn't have really much of an idea for, and they just kind of threw it out there. They're like, all right, that's what it is.
Well, you have an incantation to get inside a doll, so why not be the first person you reveal your secret to be the person you have to get inside? So
sure, why not? Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. A self-containing plot. What's the thing that what's the thing that has to happen at this point to keep the story tighter without wandering into too much extra budget needed?
Right.
And that's, you got to go back to the kid.
Yeah.
You're not wandering into the town and it's going to become Chucky Takes Manhattan. Chicago, sorry. Chucky Takes Chicago. It's not going to be that.
Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
Yeah. So we touched on this a little bit, but like the more he stays in the body, the more human he becomes, I guess. But
he's turning human.
Yeah.
Which, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
It's just not like they don't really do a good job, because if he was human, he wouldn't survive all that shit that happened at the end.
Yeah, because they say he's turning human. That's what I was saying at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Is that they say he's turning human, and then, like you said, the carnage at the end where he's coming apart and melting, like he's clearly still a doll.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see why they had to do it that way because of what they were working with.
Mm-hmm.
But
then they shouldn't have emphasized
is he supposed
the human
to have?
thing.
Is he supposed to have organs or? something, but he clearly looked like a doll. And there's like the other questions of like, okay, well then where's his soul? What part of this thing has his soul in it? Just all of it? Just the metal frame and all the rubber part? And is his soul in the gas vapors that burn off? Like
unless they're just saying like it's the heart.
So there's a human heart inside of him?
Because I think they even mentioned that at the end, like the detective.
Yeah, you gotta shoot him in the heart or something.
Yeah.
Because the guy, the voodoo doctor, tells the chick that of how to kill him or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I know I'm jumping around.
No, that's all right. I mean, I am too.
So I guess, and then the other thing too is like, how come he wasn't turning human sooner?
Yeah, I mean, it's
or
all...
is it just it evolves that takes that long, or does it start when he reveals himself and then it starts, or was he just maturing? Was his evolution maturing at the time in the film at that point? But I thought about those things. I'm like, okay, wait, so like he was just a fucking doll and all of a sudden he's turning human. But I guess actually no, like he would have been the whole time because he wasn't hurt before. He didn't go see the doctor until he got hurt.
That's true. Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, now I feel like I just should not go down this road, but why the fuck didn't he leave that homeless guy before anyways? That dude that sold the doll to the chick, why didn't he just get out and go somewhere else? And why did he just get out?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean,
for shelter?
Maybe the transfer of soul to plastic body takes like a few days to complete the full transfer. It's like downloading something.
Okay.
So he had to wait a whole like 24 hours. And in that span, the guy grabbed the doll and...
Or he was playing it safe because he was exposed. Like you saw the guy there was a bunch of fucking people in that alley. And you saw like when they find that guy later, when they're trying to find out where Chucky is or whatever, the detective and the chick, that there's this ton of people.
That's true.
Like in the squalor area. So like it's interesting with serial killers, like they have to employ a certain amount of stealth and they try to avoid getting themselves in losing situations. So Chucky here like is trying to play the role of kid's doll. He's trying not to get himself messed up and killed and torn apart. I mean, if you do some crazy shit and people see you, you might be attracting a lot of unwanted attention and have to waste a bunch of energy trying to fix that problem. Like get away or something. So
that's true. And with those guys, especially, who knows what they would have done if they saw the doll.
I mean, they tried to rape the mom.
Yeah, they were fucked up.
That was really messed up.
Yeah,
it was messed up. But I also actually said to myself, I'm like, I feel like in real life they would rape her. And then they tried to. And I'm like, okay, that's realistic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying I'm a sick person, just saying like, I feel like that's what a sick fucking guy would do.
Right. Yeah.
Like, they don't have morals. I mean, they're going to just do whatever they want. So
right.
I'm happy she got saved.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I did not want to see that go further than that.
No.
Unlike Jason Takes Manhattan, where they shoot her up with heroin. I'm like, okay, I could have done without all that.
Yeah.
Like, I understand it was supposed to be sinister, but it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we could.
Too
much. Definitely.
It's disturbing.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway. Yeah. So there is that whole. I mean, that works for me. I'll take that answer. Yeah, that works for me.
Which one?
As to why he didn't just leave the homeless guy.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Overexposed. No opportunity.
Yeah, that works. I like that.
Yeah.
So after his little meeting with the voodoo guy, obviously he doesn't like the news really about. Well, actually, he does. He wants to be back as a kid.
6 years old
He's
again.
Excited by that.
Well, John,
and he drops the line,
fun,
I've got a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Perfect. He can join Freddy for the pedophilia type flavor. Yeah, I mean, because like, look at it. He's trying to live forever, right? He's seeing this witch doctor guy about immortality and had to be a doll, which, wasn't his first choice. but being a kid at 6 years old, or I think is that what he said? 6 years old.
Yeah, 6 years old.
So but now we know how old he is. Really little.
Oh yeah,
kid.
yeah.
6 years old, not gonna be very strong, very little.
Right.
Not gonna be very well developed, like psychologically and mentally. But I mean, I guess those kids, like I feel like my nieces when they were that young were a little, like rambunctious and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever.
Do you think they could have made a better breakfast than Andy at 6 years old?
No.
Okay.
No. But I guess as far as like murdering somebody out a window, like they probably could have done that.
Yeah.
I
okay.
mean, it would have been highly unlikely, but
if they really wanted to,
they just got in the right places and I just don't know how well a child can premeditate something like that. But anyway, him wanting to be a kid, 6 years old, he can live another however much long before he can get into another body and stuff.
Right. So he's excited by this idea, and
he's already started transferring bodies. So why not just keep it up forever?
Yeah, might as well. So he kills John, but not before John tells the detective and Andy's mom that you have to kill him by shooting him in the heart, like you said, like you mentioned. And
is that all it was?
I think so.
You have to shoot him in the heart. I remember that he also told him, like, you got to stop him from transferring himself into the boy.
Oh yeah, you have to save the boy. Yeah, you'd think I would remember this shit. Like I literally just watched this.
Well, you got other stuff going on. No worries. I'll help you out. For some reason, I remember the details. I don't have as much editing to do as you do. So
that's why we keep you around, pal.
Yeah. And to open those jars with the tight lids.
Yep, that's it.
Too.
Yes, so he does. He says those other things, and
all those important things to move the plot.
And then he dies. And then Andy's mom and the detective race back to the house, and we have a big showdown. Basically, that's kind of what we get into. I mean, I know there's a few other things between that, but really, basically, what it comes down to is it's a race to save Andy at this point. And we basically are at the crescendo of the movie, and we're at the big. We go to a big showdown in Andy's apartment. At this point, now the detective already knows that everyone's not lying anymore, because also we didn't mention there was a scene where he gets attacked by Chucky in his car driving home because he just chopped off Andy's mom.
That helped add one more person to the list of people who now believe that Chucky's the killer.
Yeah.
Which definitely helped elevate the film. It would have been pretty lame if we were just stuck with Andy's mom and Andy. I mean, that could have worked, but it would have been like a Terminator type deal where they end up going to like a toy factory and having a showdown.
Yeah, that would be an absurd idea.
I know. Nobody's ever done that. Definitely not happening in a sequel or anything.
Not at all.
No.
So yeah, there was that little thing. But so the final showdown is a pretty cool last sequence. It's pretty well done as far as effects go. Chucky kicking the fireplace screen off is kind of cheesy looking, but most of it is like still pretty decent. I don't know. It holds up ish.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did an amazing job. I assumed coming into this film that this was all stop motion.
Oh, okay.
And I thought it looked really clean. And to be perfectly honest with you, I thought they were using a little person double to run around and do stuff. I
think they actually did at certain points. I don't think you're too far off there.
Well, if we want to get into behind the scenes stuff, do we want to jump into that?
Sure, why not?
Going. So I watched behind the scenes on YouTube, and then they where somebody was just playing this off their DVD extras. But put it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And believe it or not, no, they didn't do that, because I actually thought that. I'm like, I want to know who played him and how short they were, because I'm like, this is a tiny fucking frame.
Mm-hmm.
But I even my brain decided they're doing just the right camera work, right? So this is actually a bigger person than the doll, or they made the doll big enough to match this person's frame. But no, apparently this was $1 million project, and it was the most state-of-the-art animatronic robotic character made at the time. And they actually had 5 or 6 or 7 different Chuckies, and their most state-of-the-art one was the one that required up to 8 puppeteers to move his brows, his lips, his jaw, his limbs, and that was the one that they used at the end there that got fucked up. And so they use it in a lot of shots.
Yeah.
They used different things, and they had a walking Chucky. It has a really long beam at the end. I encourage you and other people to watch the video. It's making Chucky, behind the scenes Child's Play something. And they have a really long beam behind one where the Chucky can actually walk 10 feet, they said.
Oh, okay.
And it looks really good. And so they literally use robots. Basically.
Yeah.
Puppeteered animatronic robotics basically for this Chucky, and it's really amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I totally thought this was stop motion shit. Not saying it looked bad. I just thought coming in this is how they had to do it.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. So if you people listening and you check out the behind the scenes, really cool. They put a ton of money into it, and apparently they found some guru who was some young up and comer engineering guy that put the Chucky together and everything. So yeah, they legitimately used actual robotics, and that's actually that Chucky you see moving in the film is actually a independent thing moving.
That's cool. Yeah.
I mean, not fully independent. I mean, there's people manipulating its movement.
Right. Yeah.
But even those effects in 1988, to get the stuff not to be seen, in Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dan, to not have his legs show up, even though his legs are actually there in the shots, but they added them out later.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with the different puppeteer shit and pulls out the back of the thing, not showing in the final shots.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It looks so good. So props to the movie for that. I guess it was a big deal at the time, and it turned out really well. I was blown away by that. I was convinced it was stop motion with dolls.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in a fucking suit, but they didn't bring that up when I saw the behind the scenes.
In the wiki, it said that they used animatronics with up to 9 puppeteers, but also had extras of short stature and child actors.
Oh, okay.
To portray at some certain points, but
okay. Well, for the big long rant, then
no, but I'll have to look that up. It looks like that's insane.
No, I believe that. I believe what you just said, that they use small people to do some stuff, because there was definitely, I told you, before I started this thing, and I thought it was just robots. I was there were parts where it looked like the proportions were bigger on the Chucky than the doll really was. That's why I was I was trying to find who played the different Chuckies that were walking around.
Yeah.
Because that makes the most sense to me. If you want fluid human movement, you get a human to do that, and you just use camera work.
Right.
Camera tricks to make it work.
A forced perspective thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they must have used that for the shots they could get away with it.
Yeah.
And then they used the animatronic one.
Sure.
For other things.
I mean, I'm sure that that one was probably a 90% of it.
The animatronic thing.
Yeah, I would think that they probably
put so much emphasis on it in the behind the scenes, but then that's kind of annoying. I wish they would have touched on the small person actors a little.
I'm surprised that it didn't come up, but I mean, maybe it was just a
segment just for the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll have to look that up again. I'm annoyed now because I thought that was my answer. It was oh no, we have these puppets.
Yeah, well,
it was definitely not any person, but Like, it definitely looked like a person in some of those shots.
It did. I mean, it's just weird though. They do mention it, but they don't really follow up with it. So they don't tell you, like, they don't go on this as to say like who it was. Or
yeah, they might be uncredited.
Yeah,
kids or stunt men.
It said a mix of extras that were short in stature and child actors.
Oh wow. Okay, so they've used kids and
short
little people.
Adults. Yeah.
But little folk.
Anyways, either way, it's pretty cool how much they were able to pull off.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the Chucky faces that you see in the expressions,
yeah,
those are definitely the robots.
Yeah.
Those are definitely not like people wearing like a mask.
Right.
Those are definitely the things. And like I say, when you see the behind the scenes, like they show, like they have like a clear see-through like skull for it, and you can see all the shit that it does, and they talk about it. But it looks really good.
Yeah.
It's impressive. It's impressive. It's something, for that film to stand on, for sure. And I looked up Puppet Master because I'm like, okay, so Puppet Master I feel like was older than this movie. I thought maybe.
Yeah.
It just seemed like weird and older. I don't know. But it actually came out a year later.
Oh, okay.
Puppet Master, the original one, which is weird because it just seems older to me.
Yeah.
Like mid 80s or something. But it came out a year after, and I'm like, did they rip them off? Like, did they see Child's Play and all the success it had, and they ripped them off? But then I Googled that, and there wasn't any talk about Puppet Master ripping anybody off. But I'm thinking that was, I don't know, was that stop motion or was that Animatronics 2?
I don't know.
I didn't look into it though. I really don't know.
That's good. We'll have to cover that on our Puppet Master one.
Yeah, right. They clearly were playing off the wake of Child's Play success.
Sure.
To come out 1 year later with the same type of, dolls coming to life and killing people shit.
Right.
Definitely we're playing off of that. Just like slasher movies. I mean, Friday the 13th was not the first slasher film.
Right.
They like say in backstory stuff, like behind the scenes, that like we were just being like Halloween and other shit. Like we're playing the game.
Right.
Just doing it a different way.
Right.
A great way.
Yeah.
Like when something sells, you sell it.
Yeah, absolutely.
People demand it.
Definitely. So that's Child's Play. I mean, I guess, at the very end, there's kind of the wrap up with they shoot Chucky, they burn Chucky, they do a lot of shit to Chucky.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, how do they bring him back? And I'm like, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, is Chucky just embedded in every single cell inside of that thing and the metal frame of the skeleton? And
I guess there's just some things better left unanswered, or not to question.
Yeah, it was like Freddy vs. Jason. It's like, I'm not delving deep into the science. Like, this is not, like, horror movies were not meant to be enjoyed that way.
Right.
They're meant to be fun. And he transferred himself into a doll. I mean, there's clearly some exciting, fantastic stuff going on here.
Right.
So I'm fine jumping into the universe.
Right.
And I thought they did a really good job. It was creepy. He looked creepy and scary at the end, melted with the dismemberment. Something I thought was a little over the top, though, even for a magical movie, was how his one arm, one leg torso that could barely move in the hallway just all of a sudden flew out of the grate and attacked the guy's partner cop.
Yeah.
It worked for the plot, but it was like, well, how the fuck did that thing get in there so fast?
Yeah.
And it couldn't move before. Did it figure out what it was doing after we left?
Yeah.
It got its footing.
Yeah.
It's like just all these explanations like, oh, well, it got its footing. And it found it knew where to go.
Yeah.
Like Chucky could control it even though he was separated from it.
Mental gymnastics to try to figure it out.
Right.
That's why just sit back and have a good time. Don't question.
Yeah. Just have fun.
Yeah.
Just have fun, goddammit. Stop being so critical. Two other things I want to cover before we finish this one, though, because I don't want to make this too short. I know you don't like these short.
I love to edit, so please go on.
Two things. My last one's going to be the most badass part of the movie for me. But before I get to that, one thing.
Okay.
With this part, people throwing Chucky. I don't know if you noticed this, but the mom throws Chucky when he reveals himself, so to speak, earlier in the film.
When she discovers the lack of batteries.
When she's like freaking out and she's like, yes, the lack of batteries. So she knows.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think about this before, but it's like, is it possible that there was some batteries in it when it was preloaded at the factory? But she was checking. So dispel that.
Yeah.
You could have had that in the moment, but dispel that. She was checking. Then he reveals himself to her and he throws him. And I don't remember what she did, but then it also happens later in the film where the cop comes in. He ends up being completely fucking useless.
Yeah.
Like he comes in and throws Chucky off of the kid.
Yeah.
And like I said, I can't remember exactly what happened with the woman, but I feel like both times that happened, they acted like there was no more threat.
Oh, okay.
Why would just throwing a doll that's evil and murderous and very rambunctious and can like do crazy like rolls across the floor can just be ignored now that it got thrown 10 feet.
Yeah, that's
in
pretty,
the living room.
That's pretty odd.
Yeah, that was just for me. I was like, what the fuck? Like he's not dead.
Right. Like,
why would that do it?
Yeah.
Why would that fix the problems?
Yeah.
It's like the worst one was the detective threw him and then the mom is tending to the son and the detective's just like on one knee, like it's over.
Yeah.
You threw him across the room.
Right. Like
you're in the same room.
He already knew like he survived being shot. So why would just tossing him do anything?
Well, and the cop should know damn well the car wrecked.
Yeah.
And Chucky was all over him and stabbing everywhere through the car.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly mobile.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That is strange.
Nothing could really justify just sort of
They were panicking. They were panicking.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
They didn't know what to do.
They had lizard brain.
Yeah,
lizard brain. They're like, oh, is this person okay? Rather than eliminating the threat.
Yeah.
Eliminating the threat is just throwing the doll. Maybe it was psychological. Oh, we throw our dolls. They're just dolls.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't think of them coming back to life. But I swear to God, like she threw it earlier in the movie, and like I would have bolted out of that fucking building.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stay in there. You kidding me?
Definitely not.
And then just again at the end when the cop like threw him and I was just like, oh, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Little Andy, sorry.
Henry.
Then Chucky gets up and cuts his fucking leg.
Yeah, he's stupid.
It's like, what did you think was gonna happen? What were you thinking? So I hope anyone listening maybe agrees with me a little bit. And it's just it's fun to be critical. It's really easy. I mean, I know I sound like an ass, but it was still like just kind of like a funny moment. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll just throw Chucky, it'll be fine. Like, he'll be concussed.
Yeah,
like he'll be immobilized in this sort of ambiguous. What kind of damage can he take, sort of thing.
Right.
And then my badass moment of the movie is when she discovers the batteries weren't in.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I texted you. I was like, batteries included, bitch.
Yeah.
She has her moment of like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was
funny.
Was
actually alive the whole fucking time.
Nice.
That was a cool moment.
Yeah, it was. I agree with that. Nice. Good moment.
It ended up being like a focal point moment. Who would have known the batteries not being in would be that'd be the defining moment in the film. It was really the turning point.
Yeah,
because it went from like cold to hot.
That was actually it did. It really did pick up after that. Yeah. I thought it was a clever way to reveal it too. Like I wouldn't have thought of that actually. That was clever.
Yeah, it wasn't too big of a stretch. I mean, I know it was a narc where I was like, oh, in that moment you can be like, wouldn't there already be batteries in it? Really, that's not a good argument. I mean, why would they manufacture it that way?
Yeah.
Oh, but she did get it from a sleazy peddler douche.
That's true.
From an alley. So he could have put in his own batteries, but we're gonna trust a guy that is very rude and pushing a cart around and price gouging people? Probably not.
No, probably not.
Probably not. And maybe it was a factory sealed box. They didn't really. They got a show us everything. We can't make our own leaps or assumptions.
Show us the 2-hour cut.
Did they break the seal of the tape on the box top?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They need a close up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. I thought that is a good moment. I agree. I'm gonna say my badass moment of the film is let's see. I'll say Chucky trying to attack the detective in the car. That was actually a pretty tense moment. Like the more I think about it, it was actually there's kind of a similar moment in 2, but this one's good. I like it, so I'll give it up to that scene.
I agree with you, and to add to that, you hear Chucky's iconic laugh.
Yeah,
his maniacal laugh. You get a short soundbite of it. When he's choking him.
Yeah.
At first, and I was like, "There's the Child's Play laugh that I know so well."
Can you replicate that?
Oh, no way. Too unique.
Very
Too
unique. Yeah.
Just trying to picture Brad Dourif or whatever his name is. Like, I can't even picture that guy doing that. He's like such a nice guy.
Yeah.
So I'm getting like interviewed for Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and he was just like so nice. Like picturing him just sounding like so crazy like Chucky can be with that laugh. But I think of like Bride of Chucky. Like I think Chucky laughs a lot more in that. Shit. But just hearing that in the car, I feel like that was the first time we hear it in the franchise, and so that is a badass moment. Absolutely.
It's kind of like Jason getting the mask.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And it brings the detective into the plot too, which was nice.
Yeah.
I mean, how badly would it have sucked if I mean, it's just the way they were taking it. Like, we don't want to watch someone run around and say, "No one believes me. No one believes me."
Right. It
worked to that point, but then it was nice they moved on from that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
someone else says, "You don't believe me. You don't believe me."
Yeah.
Just more people.
A new crazy person.
Yeah, more guys.
Yeah. So that was mine. How about your rating? Final rating?
Out of what, 5 or?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and then is this just like for horror fans? Or for everyone?
Well,
you splitting hairs with a hatchet, you dick?
Your personal rating, god damn it.
Okay, my personal
What do you
rating.
think?
What do I think? Okay, I mean, hey, they're classic films, right?
Yeah.
They're classic movies that just set a high bar. They do things really well. The animatronics of Chucky doll. And are you wearing like a Rastafarian hat? But
I was trying to rock the fedora.
Oh, gotcha. You're Freddy.
Yeah, I wasn't wearing it long
Fedora-licious.
I felt. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, go on.
No, all good. No, all good. Yeah, it just triggered my ADD. No, but anyway, the animatronics, the character, the concept, terrifying people with, the things that we live with, and like it's a common fear of everyone's of inanimate objects coming to life and stuff. And they say like behind the scenes, you turn the lights off and all of a sudden there's this element of fear. But the whole thing, I thought it was executed, really well. I mean, could some people say some parts of it were cheesy? I mean, sure, but like, come on. I mean, the thing doesn't have to be like 100%.
Right.
So, anyway, to the point, I'm going to go ahead and give it 5. Because what else am I going to give it 5?
My God.
What deserves a 5? So you tell me the rules. Like, is 5 too much? Like, is that
no? I'm just surprised because you've usually been pretty critical. So
yeah, it's like, even for general audiences, it's like, if you can't appreciate this, then like you just don't like the genre and get the fuck out.
No, that's fair. I mean, this
it's a great
created.
Film.
This is like a legendary franchise. Like, this would spin off into so much shit. And I mean, maybe they knew at the time, maybe they didn't, but like it became massive. And yeah, I mean, Don Mancini even like stayed on board throughout the whole time and is still making stuff to this day. So
yeah, it does what it set out to do so well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I have to give it a 5. I mean, it's a classic film. Everyone knows what it is. Everyone, maybe not Gen Zers, but everyone else.
Yeah.
Like millennials, Gen X, fucking everyone knows Child's Play.
Yeah.
And you don't get that kind of name recognition unless you're solid and you've done something spectacular. And that film really did something spectacular to me. So 5.
Wow.
5
okay.
Chucky heads out of 5. I don't know what we're
All
counting.
Right, I like it. Yeah.
Chucky heads that are like
Chucky
bouncing
heads.
with their mouth like chomping.
Yeah, we'll pull that up in After Effects.
Oh, perfect. Who doesn't love After Effects?
So I was gonna keep my streak alive of 4 out of 5, but you kind of swayed me. I think.
Well, hey, no, come on, you gotta.
No, all right, 4 out of 5. Mostly just because there's a few plot holes.
Sure.
And
okay.
The human thing is baffling, but it's a really fun movie, and it's a must watch every October. I mean, I'll probably watch it another time before this month is even over. So
yeah, I mean, if you're making a top 10 list of horror films for October, Child's Play definitely has to be in consideration.
Yeah,
at the very least.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate what it is. I appreciate what it's done for horror in general. I mean, I love that the dude is still that passionate, and I'm excited to check the series out. I forget exactly when this is coming out. I think maybe there actually may have been a few episodes already by now.
It sounded like it was in motion already, but
it's supposed to. Well, it's actually coming out in October. October, but like technically we're in October when this episode comes out. So
we're here.
Yeah,
it's already out.
It's out. But anyways, yeah. So 4 Chucky heads out of 5 for me. It
was a fun movie. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah,
definitely enjoyed it.
Well, me too. And that about wraps us up. Before we go out, do you have any Chucky lines that you want to give us? Okay, good night, folks.
Good night, folks. That about wraps her all up.
Give me your best Brad Dourif right now. For $100, your best Fred Dourif impression.
This bugs me because there's definitely some good quotes in there.
There were. It is hard to think of though.
Like there's a part where he says something, bitch. You know?
Yeah.
So like I feel like that's what I would roll with, but I don't know like what the full quote is. But it's something short and sweet like that, where he just lays a little quip on somebody, like when he's striking him or something like that.
Was it when he was talking to the ant? Or was it someone else?
Does he talk to the ant?
I thought he did.
I don't know.
No?
I don't remember him talking to her, but
okay.
I could be wrong. I just don't remember it.
No, you're probably right. You have a better memory than me.
He was like sneaking around, and they don't even show him when he kills her.
Okay.
Like you just see her you see him grab the hammer and then smash her once in the face.
But
they don't even show him doing it yet, which I think was a good idea. You want to pull that back a little bit.
Right. He does call someone a stupid bitch and a filthy slut.
Just stuff like that. Yeah. Just being really vile.
Yeah.
Those like little quotes or like one-liners, but coming from Chucky, who's just like this ruthless asshole, but almost kind of fun in a weird way. Like it's the kind of like the charm of his character. He's like, you're just like riding with this zany evil character.
Yeah,
these movies.
And it gets more and more wacky as it goes along.
Yeah, they have fun with it and it works. It's like the Leprechaun franchise. Like,
yeah,
it's just goofy, except Child's Play, it's better, but just like goofy weirdness with the menacing stuff all with it. But
yeah.
All
right. Well, John, I gotta go. I've got a date with a 6-year-old boy.
Aw, good one.
Aw.
Wholesome.
All right, man. Well, it was good doing this episode with you.
Yep, you too, man. Great selection, great film.
Join us next week for the final Freaky Film Club.
Ooh.
Really Excited for that one.
Be there, be square.